Hello. It's been a while. I don't seem to do so many of these as I used to. Today is the start. Well, we've just started the penultimate week of Lent. Next week we'll be celebrating what we Christians call Holy Week. But all through the period of Lent, we've been thinking, as Christians, have been thinking about the life of Jesus, what he did, what he said, and what he means to us. In actual fact, I should say what he does, what he says, and what he means to us. Because as a Christian, I believe he's still alive. He lives in me, he lives in everybody, if anybody did but recognise it. It's not easy though, sometimes. And I know some of you will be saying, oh no, Richard's up on his soapbox again. It's not a soapbox. And some people say, well, you put yourselves up on this pedestal, you're better than thou, sort of thing. But it's not us that put ourselves up. It's not Christians that put themselves up on pedestals. Some may do, but for the majority, it's not a pedestal that we want to be on, because we are humans and we have the same frailties, same things as anybody else. We're no better than anybody else. But what we do believe is that if we do things wrong, and believe me, we do things wrong. And I know some of you are saying, well, Richard, I can remember when you did this or you said that. Yeah, I know. But I also know that when I've taken those things and admitted them and told God that I'm sorry, and I receive that forgiveness that only he can give. So yeah, we're no better than anybody else. The only thing that's in our favour is that we believe that Jesus lives. And that's what this Lent period is all about. It's remembering and then seeing how he still lives in us and through us today. I like to think that some people will see Jesus in some of my actions, some of the things that I say. Unfortunately, as I say, we're not superhuman beings. We still let him down. I let him down still so many times with the things that I do, the things that I say. But I know that he forgives, and I know that he's willing to give me a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. He is always forgiving. And that's what I want people to think about today, is that God forgives when we really, really repent. That's an old-fashioned word, isn't it? But when we really, really say, we are sorry, we know this was wrong, we shouldn't have done this, we shouldn't have said that, or we should have done. Sometimes we don't do the things that he wants us to do, purely because we're not really listening to him. But I know that when we really go to him, really say and really mean it when we say we're sorry, then he forgives. But it's no good saying, oh, I do that and then I'll say sorry. It doesn't work like that. You've got to be really, really sorry. And I say, really, really, you want to repent. Repent. Start afresh. Wipe the slate clean. I used to do an illustration in church with an old school slate. You know, the little square slates that children used to take to school as their exercise books. My aunt had one years ago and we found it in her attic. And I remember writing the word sin on it. And again, a word which we don't like to use nowadays, do we? Oh no, that's not a word, that's an old-fashioned word. But we all know what it means. And I did an illustration where showing how God can forgive us. And at the end, I got a cloth and I wiped the word sin off that slate. so it was completely clean, ready to start again. And that's what God does for each one of us. And that's what we want to think about as we come through to Easter, to the sacrifice that Jesus made, just so that we would see and know that his words were true, because he lives again. He rose again on Easter Day. That's what we'll be celebrating. But we remember, first of all, his sacrifice through this last 2 weeks now as we come towards Easter. That's all I'm going to say today. Have a lovely day. The sun is at least shining at the moment and the birds are singing. When it rains, we feel depressed and we feel, ugh. But when the sun shines, we feel happy and blessed. Knowing Jesus in your life, you will know and find his blessing. I know. So bless you all. God bless.